Welcome back. Let us resume our discussion on defuzzification methods. Okay. So far we have discussed lambda cut and maximum methods. So other methods in this category are centroid methods. These are the most commonly used methods but little complex to perform. Okay. On the other hand, their performance is better than other methods. So usually we use centroid methods for performing defuzzification. There are three types of centroid methods: center of gravity, center of sums, and center of largest area. So let us discuss how center of gravity method works. Okay. This method is also known as center of mass, and actually the area covered by or space covered by the curve that represents the membership function is considered like a body in this method, and it tries to find out value of x star in such a way that if we draw a perpendicular line at x star, then it divides the entire body into two equal masses. This is the basic concept behind this method, that we have a membership function. If we draw the curve as shown in this figure, so space covered by this curve is considered like a body, and we try to divide it into two equal parts in such a way x star is we find x star. Okay, so mathematically it is given by this equation. Okay, integration of x mu ax divided by integration of mu x. Okay, in discrete form the above equation can be written like this. Okay, so here this component integration of mu ax is actually representing the region covered by the curve that represents mu a. Okay, so suppose membership function is given in graphical representation here. So we divide the entire area into sub-regions. Okay, here there is one segment represented by blue colored line, another red colored line, okay, magenta colored, yellow and green color. These are the different segments of the membership functions. So if we want to determine the entire area covered by this curve, so we can estimate the areas of these sub-regions. Okay, A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. If you sum up all these 5 values, then you can get the area covered by the entire curve. Okay, so this is the concept that is being represented here. Okay, we can obtain x star with the help of this equation also, but if suppose fuzzy set is not available, only membership function is available. Okay, whose graphical representation is given here. So we divide the entire curve into subregions. Okay, here these are the endpoints of the segments of the curve. The blue segment, for blue segment the endpoints are 0, 0 and x1, y1. For red segments the endpoints are x1, y1, x2, y2. For magenta it is x2, y2, x3, y3. For yellow line, it is x3 y3 x4 y4, and here it is x5 0. These are the endpoints for green colored line. Okay, so in order to find out the area, or in order to calculate this quantity x star, we can perform that operation in this way. Okay, for this segment, integration varies from 0 to x1 because endpoints are 0 0 and x1 y1. So for blue color segment, x coordinate varies from 0 to x1. So that's why here we have taken this integration from 0 to x1. For next segment, the integration is performed from x1 to x2, and then x2 x3 x3 x4 x4 x5 in like this. So 0 to x1, then x1 to x2, x2 to x3, x3 to x4, and x4 to x5. Okay, so the only difference between numerator and denominator in this equation is that in numerator we have x multiplied with membership function, and in denominator we have only membership function that is integrated with respect to x within the limits that represents endpoints of a particular sub-region or a particular segment. Okay, so it is little bit complicated, but with the help of an example we would be able to clarify it. Okay, so I take this example. Suppose there is a railroad company that wants to lay a new rail line in a particular region. Okay, so if you want to lay a new railway line in a particular region, so you have to perform estimation of the land required for this purpose, and to perform this estimation you have to do field surveys. Okay, field surveys are not easy to perform. A lot of manpower and expertise, and a lot of instruments are required for this purpose. Okay, so this rail company already having 3 surveys. 3 different surveys are available already, but all of these 3 surveys are not accurate. These are fuzzy surveys. Why fuzzy? Because these surveys are old surveys, and suppose a survey you performed 10 years back, so in the meantime land use at many places might have changed. A particular region, suppose 10 years back it was an agricultural land, now it is a residential area. So over the time land use has been changed. So if your surveys are old, then you cannot consider them as accurate surveys, rather these are the fuzzy surveys, because it is expected that in many parts land use has changed. Earlier, suppose some land was in public domain, now it is in private use. Okay, so you cannot purchase that land. So that's why these surveys are considered fuzzy surveys. Now company intends to find out some approximate estimation of the land with the help of these fuzzy surveys. So here what we have to do, we have to defuzzify the estimation. Okay, so whatever fuzzy estimation, fuzzy surveys are available with us, with the help of those fuzzy surveys we can find out some approximate value for the land required by the company with the help of defuzzification method. So here three surveys are available as given here. These three surveys are representing three different regions. Okay, it is covering an area of 5 kilometers. It is covering a segment of 4 kilometers, and this survey is covering a segment of only 3 kilometers. Okay, so three different surveys are available, and depending on how old they are, we have assigned them degree of confidence. Okay, so this is the oldest survey, so degree of confidence, maximum degree of confidence, maximum degree of membership to this fuzzy set we have given 0.3. This is comparatively newer survey, so degree of membership, maximum degree of membership for this fuzzy set is 0.5, and this is the newest. So maximum degree of membership for this fuzzy set we have taken 1. Now we want to combine all these three surveys. Now rather I would say we combine all these three fuzzy membership functions, and then we perform defuzzification. Okay, so combination means that we have to take a union of these three fuzzy membership functions, because they are representing different segments, and our purpose is to perform an estimation from 0 to 8 on x-axis, 0.0 to 0.8 at x-axis. So this is fuzzy set A that starts at 0, and this is fuzzy set 3 that ends at 8. So we take a union of these three fuzzy sets, and then we perform defuzzification. Okay, so we can perform union of these three membership functions like this. Just put them all together as in this figure, and remove these curves which are inside the outer curve. Okay, this is the outer curve, so inner curves are removed and we get this curve. Okay, this is the final curve after the union. Okay, so with the help of color you can easily understand what we have done. Okay, here all the three membership functions are put together, we keep the outer curve, and we remove all the inside curves. Okay, and we get this. Now you find out the coordinates of these type of corners. Okay, so that we can divide the entire region into sub-regions, so that we can easily perform our calculations. Okay, so one region, one segment is this from 0 to 1, 0.3. Another segment is this one, the third one is this, fourth one this, fifth, sixth and seventh. So in total we have 7 sub regions. Okay, so for first sub region the limit varies from 0 to 1. For second segment limit varies from 1 to 3.6. For third segment it is 3.6 to 4. For fourth segment it is 4 to 5.5, and for this one it is 5.5 to 6. Here it is 6 to 7, and here we have 7 to 8. In this way the limit varies for the integration operation. Okay. So now we have to find out the equation for these sub-regions or segments, and these segments are nothing but straight lines. Okay, straight line 1, then straight line 2, straight line 3, straight line 4, as labeled here L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6 and L7. So every segment, every sub-region is represented here with the help of a straight line. Okay, so it makes our job easy. If you consider the entire region, you can perform this integration just like that. It varies from 0 to 8, but it would be difficult to determine the equation for this curve. Okay, but if you divide this curve into different segments, we can easily determine the equation for the curve representing a particular segment, because each segment is nothing but a straight line, and equation of a line is it is given by this is the standard formula. Here x1 x2 are the coordinates at x-axis, y1 y2 are the coordinates at y-axis. So with the help of this standard equation, we can easily determine the equation for the curve. Okay, so here we have 7 lines: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6 and L7. So for all the 7 lines we can easily determine the equation because we have endpoints available with us. So for first segment it is y minus y1, y1 is 0 here, so it is y minus 0. y2 minus y1, y2 is 0.3, y1 is 0, so 0.3 minus 0. Here x1 is, x2 is 1, x1 is 0, so 1 minus 0. X minus x1, x1 is 0. So with the help of this we can easily get that equation for the segment 1 that is being represented by L1 is y equals 0.3x. In this way we can easily find out the equations for all the 7 segments, for all the 7 lines easily. Okay, so I repeat the procedure once again. Here we have three membership functions represented by 3 different curves. So take the union of these 3 membership functions. Okay, just put together and take the outer curve only. So this is the final curve of the union of the membership functions. Now find out the points of these corners. Okay, so that we have endpoints for every segment. Divide it in segments like this: first segment, second segment, third segment, fourth segment, fifth segment, sixth segment, and this is seventh segment. Every segment is represented by a line labeled as L1, L2, L3, L4 up to L7. Now for every line we have coordinates of endpoints, so we can easily find out the equation of the curve for every line with the help of this standard equation. Here all the equations for all the 7 lines are available now. Okay, so let us find out numerator first of this equation. Okay, we have to apply this equation. Okay, so there is numerator and denominator. Okay, so let us find out the numerator. Okay, first we find out numerator, then we determine the denominator, and finally we get the value of x star. Okay, so for segment 1, that is labeled as L1, limit varies from 0 to 1. X coordinate varies from 0 to 1. So limit varies from 0 to 1 because we are performing integration with respect to x. Okay, so limit is considered only for x coordinate, that it varies from 0 to 1. So for this segment it is 0 to 1. Equation is 0.3x. We write it here 0.3x and then x dx. Okay, plus second segment limit varies from 1 to 3.6, 1 3.6. For L2 equation is y equals 0.3. So this portion, okay, we write here 0.3 and x dx is common for all the segments. For third segment it varies 3.6 to 4. Equation is 0.5x minus 1.5. So we write it here within the bracket 0.5x minus 1.5 and then x dx. In this way, for all the segments we perform integration and we sum up them. Okay. So this equation becomes like this now. 0.3 x square, it is 0.3x, 0.5x square minus 1.x, because we multiplied this x with the given equation. Okay. So if you take integration, you perform integration for this equation, then simply we get integration of x square is x cube divided by 3. Okay, so it is written here. These are the simple calculations, there is no need to explain them. Okay, so after performing integration for all the terms we get this. Finally, if we elaborate, we perform these calculations and we get a value which is 18.398. So this is the value of numerator in that equation. Now let us determine the denominator. And what is the difference? The only difference is that with numerator we use x ds and with denominator we use only dx. Okay, so here it is 0.3 x square dx. In the denominator this part becomes only 0.3 x dx. So if we perform integration we get 0.3 x square divided by 2. In this way we perform integration for all the terms and finally doing all those calculations we get denominator as 3.715. So x star it is n by d and finally we get this. So approximate estimation for the land required by the railroad company is 4.95 kilometers. Okay, so the company just has an idea that they need to purchase approximately 5 kilometers land, okay, for laying down that railway line in that region. Okay, so that's all for today. These are the references that you can follow for further readings. Okay, thank you.